Okay, so it's time to build our first set, and in this video I'm going to go through talent build, the agility set, how to expand that, and glyphs and enchants, of course. So this might be a little bit of a longer episode. First I will show something here which can be a bit confusing. As you can see, I got 2.69% crit. I believe that's from base stats, and it's not really counting in my 9 crit rating from skinning. But basically I got 5.73 crit already. So we will have to count on that there is some kind of hidden stats there that you can't see. And let's start with a talent build. This is an add-on called Talented, and it's a pretty good add-on, which makes it a lot easier. Agility spec. 2C, yeah, never mind. It makes it a lot easier to save and make specs. And I'm taking 2 points in Hawkeye here. It's I really want 3, but this build will not be able to have 3, and I would never go without Hawkeye at all. The further you can shoot, the sooner you can do damage, the sooner you can stop a flag carrier or tag a warrior. There are a lot of benefits with range. So I'm taking 2 points in Hawkeye, and we are building an agility set. So we will have high crit, and I will improve that crit with 5 extra %. And since we are critting a lot, or are going to crit a lot, then I'm also going to improve the damage by 18%. And that's almost 20%, which is a lot on a crit, because crits are high, so you will see higher crits. I believe it's maybe 40 more damage on a normal crit. So let's go with these talents. Apply. And as you can see, it's not really showing these 5% either, so I should have around 10% now in critical strike chance, but it only shows 2.69. And yeah, let's go and check the glyphs. I haven't taken those out, so I will have to run and get the glyphs. Might as well take these. These are good for starter set. These I already have. There they are. This is certificate of ownership. It's what you use to rename your pet if you are not happy with your name. I got a little bit of a low frame rate. I'm not really sure why. So let's take a look at the glyphs, and I'm just gonna put them a little bit better here. Sort them out a little bit. And the minor glyph of a scare beast, it's a great glyph. You should always have this glyph, and you should use scare beast a lot in a battleground on druids, shamans and pets, and this will make it a lot easier to cast scare beast. It's a very useful glyph. I think there is a revive pet as well, but I don't see the point in that glyph at all. These are the glyphs that most people pick, and I will talk a little bit about them here. Glyph of immolation trap. Since I don't have any stats on this character, I'm going to use the stats from Yubnubbs, and I know that Glyph of immolation trap does 134 damage on Yubnubbs over 15 seconds. So with this glyph, it would deal 268 damage over 9 seconds. It ain't bad, but it is limited, so I'm putting it up here in the shame corner. Then we got Glyph of Mending. It's also not that bad, but it's not useful either. Mend Pet heals 125 health over 15 seconds. So this adds 50 health over 15 seconds, so you are actually healing 175. It's not great. I don't really see a point in using that either. Hunter's Mark, this one may seem good, but it's total crap. Hunter's Mark gives you an additional 20 attack power when you fire at the target with Hunter's Mark on. This glyph increases your attack power, your Hunter's Mark attack power by 20. And that is 4 attack power, so on your Hunter's Mark will give you 24 attack power instead. That's going up in the shame corner. The worthless glyphs at level 19. Glyph of Arcane Shot is probably the worst of them all though. Your Arcane Shot refunds 20% of its mana cost if the target has one of your stings active on it. And first you have to have a sting on it, which you won't always have. You might open up with an Arcane Shot instead of a sting, but yeah, you might not always have a sting on your target. But then it refunds 20% of Arcane Shot's mana cost when you shoot an Arcane Shot. And Arcane Shot costs 21 mana, so you are getting 4.2 mana back, which is basically nothing. You won't even see that on your mana bar. Up into the corner of shame. Glyph of Serpent Sting increases the duration of Serpent Sting by 6 seconds, and I believe that is just as it says. It increases the duration, not the damage. It's 4 abilities that do stuff when you have a sting on it. They are dependent on the sting, so you have more time to use those abilities. This is probably worthless on low level. So we are left with Glyph of Raptor Strike and Multi-Shot, and Multi-Shot might not seem that good, but what we have to use, what we have to kind of choose from Multi-Shot is great. It decreases the cooldown of Multi-Shot by 1 second, and while it doesn't sound so high, if you count all those together, you will have fired a good bunch of more multi-shots in the end of the game, so you would have dealt a lot more damage. Multi-shot is also the attack that deals the most damage, so it lowers your downtime in your DPS a bit as well, while you do get a little bit out of sync there with your attacks, but it will up your damage a good bit. It's a great glyph. However, I prefer Glyph of Raptor Strike, which reduces the damage taken by 20% for 3 seconds after using Raptor Strike. And when you use Raptor Strike, then you are probably about to take a hit, and that hit will be 20% less. I think that's great. So these are my choices, and I have them already equipped, or what you call it. As you can see, Glyph of Raptor Strike and Glyph of Scare Beast. So that's the glyphs. I'm gonna put them up here in the corner. Let's start talk about the gear, and as I said in the last episode, I believe, I think that you should take skinning and herbalism and just use something else for the head slot in the meantime until you get Lucky Fishing Hat, like the Blood Elf Bandit Mask, or my preferred choice, the Violet Hat from Dalaran. You can buy it at the cloth vendor. So that's just a fun kind of slot holder, or what you call it. Now for gear, as you can see, I've collected some gear, almost everything. I believe I got everything that might be in any way interesting for this little video guide. And I'm gonna start with showing Blooded Arcanite Reaper. But, I only got that for one reason, and that's to show it, because this weapon is crap. But I do see a lot of hunters running around with it, and they have put 25 agility on it. I'm not sure why. 6 strength for a hunter is 6 melee attack power, nothing else. You don't get armor, you don't get anything else, just 6 melee attack power. So basically this is 10 stamina and 6 critical strike rating. If you instead remove 1 stamina and 6 strength, you could use Dignified Headmaster Charge, where you get 9 stamina, 7 intellect and 6 critical strike rating, which is great. Intellect is a lot better. If you were in an intellect spec, you would even get 7 attack power extra out of that. So I can really recommend it for your first weapon, melee, yeah, you know what I mean, two-handed weapon. Then go with Dignified Headmaster Charge, not the axe. And 25 agility is always the best enchant on the stuff. No matter if you are in an intellect build or something else, you will get the most damage out of 25 agility. It's the highest attack power, and you also get 2.65% crit and 4.17% dodge, which easily beats 22 intellect. So I am grabbing Dignified Headmaster Charge for my first item. As a second choice, if you don't have an heirloom yet, you could go with Twisted Chanter stuff, which is pretty good. It's not as good as the Dignified Headmaster Charge, and we are going with heirlooms, so I am taking the heirloom. As a ranged weapon, we do have Venom Strike, Outrider's Bow, Fast Rider Longbow, Lil Timmy's P-Shotter, which was great once upon a time, upgraded Dwarven Hand Cannon, and a Charmed Ancient Bone Bow. And in this spec we will use a bow. And this looks great, and it's a heirloom, so you might think like, oh my god, that's obviously the best weapon, but it's not. Venom Strike far outdoes the Charmed Ancient Bone Bow in damage because of the proc, and it also have higher DPS. You don't get the stats, but the proc is great, and I will talk more about the proc because it's part of our set. So I'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then we're going to pick up a couple of rings, and I'm going to go with Legionnaires Band, which you get from PvP or voting. It's cheap both ways. Then you can take Protector's Band, which is the Alliance ring, so you have to vote for that. Then we go with Scout's Medallion, which is the best neck you can get at level 19. Let's say shoulders. You do have Serpent's shoulders, but this is pretty much just a placeholder. There also are 8 agility shoulders in Shadowfang Cape, but I didn't bother getting those. I have seen hunters running around with reinforced rolling shoulders. It's better than nothing, but it's also pretty embarrassing, so I wouldn't use them anyway. We are going heirlooms, so let's take out both heirlooms here, and also both chest pieces. That you do have the Beastmaster shoulders, but that pretty much sucks. I didn't even get that at all. Most people vote for Arena Grandmaster at once. I'm taking that out. Also inherited Insignia of the Horde. You could get Insignia of the Horde from PvP as well. It's pretty easy to get. You will need a cloak, and you got Glowing Lizard Scale Cloak and Sentry Cloak to choose from. Both are good. It's if you want 3 more stamina and 2 less agility, then take the Sentry Cloak, or you can go with the Glowing Lizard Scale Cloak, which I did, for a couple of more agility. And then we got Forest Leather Bracers. They are great. There is pretty much only one upgrade from them, and it's the Wrangler's Wristbands of the Monkey. But not this one. This is only 2-3. You will need a 3-3 bracers to actually make it an upgrade, so I won't use these. I just wanted to show them. The 3 agility and 3 stamina would be an upgrade in my opinion. As far as belt goes, we pretty much only got 2 to choose from, and that's Belt of the Fang or Deviate Scale Belt. If you got some cash, know a leatherworker, or you have a leatherworker, then you can easily make Deviate Scale Belt, and that's far better than Belt of the Fang, so I'm taking that. As for boats, we are going with Footplates of the Fang. You could go with Feet of the Lynx, but if you really check on the stats here, you got 8 agility and 3 strength. From Footplates of the Fang you get 6 agility and 6 stamina, so basically you're trading the strength and 2 agility for 6 stamina, and that's, in my opinion, that's a lot better because 60 hit points is a lot. Legs, there are 2, Smelting Pants and Leggings of the Fang, and Smelting Pants are great, but Leggings of the Fang are also very good. For the weapon we are using Standard Scope, that's for Venom Strike, you can see +2 damage, and we are using Medium Armor Kit on the legs, which is the highest we can get on bind on pickup items. Gloves, we are taking Gloves of the Fang, but there also are Foreman's Gloves, and if you really dig into the stats, it's 4 attack power more, so if you really want to get more attack power out, Foreman's Gloves would be better, but we are building an agility set, so we want agility, and as for now these are the best ones we can get. And as you can see, I've already enchanted that. Have I missed something? I don't think I have, so let's equip this gear here. I'm doing it the fast way. Try and cut down on the time a little bit. And let's take that off. 24.75% crit. We probably have around 5% more maybe. So we should have like 29% or even more hidden. If we go with Smelting Pants we get 26.16%, and that's pretty high. It's high crit, and I believe that we have a lot of more crit rating hidden that we don't really see, especially the 5% from the talents, but I can't tell for sure if we are actually getting them or not. So let's say that we have 26%, while I do think that we have 31%. That is a lot of crits, and that is why we raised the mortal shots up to 3, so we get 18% more damage on crit. And we are pretty much critting each 3rd or 4th attack, which is a lot, so then we are upping those attacks. Overall we are not that high on attack power, with aspect 230 only, it's not that much. But we make up for that in critical strikes there, and also the proc from Venom Strike. And we do have the first set bonus, which is Nature Spell Power +7. And Hunters don't scale with spell power, but the Venom Shot, which is a random shot from Venom Strike, is not really a hunter spell, so I believe that is still buffed by the 7 nature spell power. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it is, so we do get some use of the first set bonus there. You shouldn't really go for the expertise or anything like that. We do have almost hit cap, that's great, but that's basically because we have the wrong gear on here. Let's change a couple of pieces here. Let's take these off. I was a little bit too fast there for my own good. So this is the rogue items in 19 Battlegrounds, because it has a high hit rating. If you compare this for Hunters, Champion Hero's Shoulders and Champion Death Dealer Breastplate gives better stats. However, we still need hit rating. Some people say like hit rating is overrated, but it's not. You really need hit rating. And to get the highest stats out, the chest piece is the one that gives the most, so we are going to skip out on Stained Shadowcraft Tunic. And since the shoulder item is that the one that gives the gives less stats, we are taking Stained Shadowcraft Spoilers for the hit rating to get a little bit more. And now it's looking a little bit more what I was expecting. 235 attack power, 7 hit rating is a bit low. I try to stay above 8. But I guess that's what we have to settle with for now. And maybe 30%, not sure, 26.27% at least. That's not bad even if it's just that, but I'm pretty sure that we have an additional around 7% crit there. So it will be a lot of critical strikes, and this is the kind of first setup. So let's have a look at the enchants. We have 3 agility on the cloak, and there are also 12 dodge rating, which is bugged, so using that is an exploit, but it's not really that good anyway. And there are 70 armor and some resistances, and the 70 armor, I see some people using that. I tested it out and it's roughly 1% less damage taken. I rather have almost 0.5% dodge, 0.32% crit and 3 ranged attack power than 1% less damage taken. So agility will be the best enchant in my opinion. You can use any of those, but if you take my advice, then go for 3 agility on your cloak. On the chest base I've taken 100 health because I really want to get to 1200 hit points, and as you can see I'm just above 1200 there. So if I remove that I will go down to 1100, which is less than I want, and 4 stats ain't bad. Actually it's pretty good. I got an enchanter here and it has to stand next to me, of course. Come to Yubnubbs with your enchanting noises. Where were we? Yeah, 100 health. 4 stats is great, but I believe you get more out of 4 stats in an intellect build. But it's not bad having 4 intellect, 4 agility and 4 stamina. It's pretty good, but I believe an intellect build gains more on that than this build does. As far as forest leather bracers goes, I put 9 stamina on them to get... The more hit points you have, the longer you live, and the harder opponents you can take on, basically. But we don't want to go down too low on mana or attack power or crit and stuff like that. You have to kind of balance out the stats a bit. So that is why I have picked this set here. We have 25 agility on the two-hander, which I've already gone through. You shouldn't use 22 intellect even in an intellect build. 2 damage on Venom Strike and 15 agility on Claws of the Fang. Reinforced armor plus 16, that's the medium armor kit. And then we got 7 agility, which is an expensive enchant, and that is why you don't remove enchants, instead you get a new set of boots for the new enchant. For this set there are 2 enchants basically. It's either minor run speed or 7 agility, or you could use 7 stamina. I believe it's 7 stamina. Let's have a look. 7 stamina. Oh goddamn enchanters. But you would gain the most for this build out of 7 intellect. No, 7 agility, sorry about that. 7 agility. But it is a hard to get enchant. You might have some problem because of the wild wine. For rings we are using Legionnaires Band and Protector's Band. and then you got Arena Grandmaster, it's 36 points. I am showing that in the end of the video how to get that. And inherited the insignia of the Horde, and you could also go with a normal insignia of the Horde. It's not that bad. It's missing 6 resilience, which isn't really a big deal, but I like it. And that's pretty much it about your first set. You could go with Leggings of the Fang. It would lower the crit rating a bit. You would still have a lot of crit rating. You would get a little bit more attack power. But I really like Smelting Pants. But yeah, I do get more attack power, 9 to be exact. It's up to you what pants you want to use. Do you want a little bit more attack power, or do you want a little bit more crit? So let's see how we can kind of upgrade this set here, because we are not really done yet. There are more items we could get. You could get another Arena Grandmaster to switch the insignia with when the insignia is on cooldown to get higher health. And lucky fishing hat, of course. You could go with I didn't go through that, sorry, but that I kind of missed, because I'm not an engineer. I'm not really going through the engineer stuff, but there is the green tinted goggles, which you could use instead of the lucky fishing hat. I talked about that earlier, but lucky fishing hat is the upgrade for us here. And then we have scouting gloves of the monkey with plus 15 agility on them, and the red pirate ring is an upgrade. Possible upgrade is vigorous belt of the bandits, which you get from random dungeons. And there you can see 12 dodge. Tumultuous cloak of the bandit is the best cloak you can get. Am I missing something now? I don't think I'm missing anything at the moment. I hope I get all. So let's see here. Let's put on the lucky fishing hat, and let's switch out the lion's ring and keep the horde one. There is a 5 agility ring. I do have that, but I'm not using it because it's just 1 agility where you get 2 stamina out of this one, and I prefer 2 stamina over 1 agility. Then we got the scouting gloves of the monkey, and the reason why scouting gloves of the monkey is better than gloves of the fang is because you are trading 2 agility for 4 stamina, and that's 40 hit points. It's pretty much. And yeah, an upgrade for your bracer would be the Wrangler's wristbands of the monkey with 3 agility and 3 stamina, but I'm not gonna use these because I don't consider them an upgrade. It's just the same stats, and I would be trading 3 agility for 3 stamina. I don't want to do that. I got enough health now, so I'm staying with forest leather bracers. Yeah, I think I talked about Feet of the Lynx. This is probably the stuff that we will need here. We can switch out the belt, David scale belt, for for the vigorous belt of the bandit. It gives 10 more attack power and 1 less stamina, so it's a great belt, but the hit rating is important, and we are really getting low on that, so I'm actually gonna use the David scale belt instead of the vigorous belt of the bandit. But the vigorous belt of the bandit is good. It's really good for attack power build and the agility build. Then we got the tumultuous cloak of the bandit, which is the best cloak you can get, and as you see, it do have 2 less agility, but it do have 2 more stamina and 8 attack power, and that's just too big difference to leave the glowing lizard scale cloak with. But these 2 items, the vigorous belt of the bandit and the tumultuous cloak of the bandit, they can be hell to get, to be honest. They can be really hard to get. since they are from the bag in random dungeons, and that satchel, oh my god. Sometimes it just doesn't want to drop your items, and most of the times it's empty on this server. So yeah, this will be a hard item for you to get. These are pretty expensive and they are hard to farm for, but they will be the best items you can get for this set. And we are at 27.11% crit plus maybe an additional 9.12% crit. I believe that we are at least over 30% crit here, and at 1543 health. Our mana is low, but it's not really that big of a deal. One melon use would pretty much fill up that mana, so we just have to drink more. Yeah, this is it. Let's go through the gear. Lucky fishing hat, Scout's medallion, Stain Shadowcroft Spaulders, Tumultus Cloak of the Bandit, Champion Deathdealer Breastplate, Forest Leather Bracers, Dignified Headmaster Charge, Venom Strike, Scouting Gloves of the Monkey, Deviate Scale Belt, Smelting Pants, Footpads of the Fang, Legionnaire's Band, Dread Pirate Ring, Arena Grandmaster, and another Arena Grandmaster, but that we are going to switch between. So you kind of go up and down between 100 with 120 hit points there. But yeah, that's the set. I should probably equip some arrows. And as I said, how this works is that we are buffing our crit and we are raising the crit damage. Now we are not getting the 7 spell power from the Fang set, because we only got one piece of the Fang set. You could kind of go down a little bit in your crit and take the Fang legs to get that set bonus. It's up to you if you want to use it, but in combination with the Venom shot and the high crits and the upped crit damage, you will do a lot of damage even though you don't have as much attack power as an intellect build or a raw attack power build. It's still not bad, and this will do good in Battlegrounds, I am sure of that. It's also a very easy set to get, except for a few pieces when we kind of went through how to expand this set. These gloves you can take forever or be very expensive to get. And yeah, I think that's it. We went through the glyphs, the talents, the gear, and the enchants. And the next time will be the stamina build. We will have a look at that. But until then, thank you for watching and see you next time.
Still recharging. I can't cast that yet. What can I help you with?
What's up? Have a good one.